dropping it like a thotty. It may pass when you're 18, but dropping it like a thotty at 85 doesn't really seem like a good look. What's up? It's Johanna with God is Glamorous, where we learn how to live our best lives through Jesus Christ. And today I want to talk about Beyonce's new song, Church Girl. So based on my understanding of this song, Beyonce is specifically targeting church girls or Christian women and encouraging them to drop it like a thotty, get loose, and to believe that only God can judge them. And I want to let you know why this concept is so dangerous and how we need to continuously guard our eye gates and our ear gates when it comes to music and entertainment and the things that we listen to, because ultimately what we listen to and what we look at on television or the people that we hang out with can really influence our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. And I have to be honest with you, as I was studying this song and learning different points of what I can share with you throughout the song, I started taking on this song. It was constantly playing in my head. I would find myself singing the lyrics. I would find myself repeating them. And even though I was so against this song, it got into my spirit and it wouldn't leave. And it caused me to want to start dancing to this song and repeating the lyrics. And that's why we have to understand music is an emotional and spiritual experience. And because of that, we really have to be mindful of what we listen to and what we allow to enter into our hearts and our spirits. So I want to start off by saying I'm not bashing the fact that we as women, Christian women, can't have fun. I'm not saying that at all. We as Christian women, we have the best fun. I have the best fun. I love going out to eat. I love going out to lounges. I love going out with my friends and all that. But I'm very, very mindful about what I do, both privately and publicly, because I know that I'm a representative of Christ. We have to remember that as Christians, we are called to live lives of integrity. And if we ever want God to expand us or to continue to anoint us, it's going to cost us something. It's going to cost our obedience. We're going to have to show God that we have integrity, and we're going to have to be an ambassador for Jesus, both publicly and privately. So I want to examine this song, and I want to show you the reasons why this song is a song that we should definitely not be listening to. So the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1, "Follow me as I imitate Christ." And we have to realize that if we are following anyone, whether it's an influencer, an artist, a singer, an entertainer, then they need to be led by Christ. And if they aren't not led by Christ, then we should definitely not be following them. And the Bible talks about having wisdom and discernment. And if you ever need wisdom, all you have to do is turn to James chapter 1, verse 5, where it says, if any of us lack wisdom, then God will give it to us generously without finding fault. So make sure that you continuously become wise throughout this entire process so that you can continue to have discernment and wisdom. All right, so the first point that I want to make when it comes to this song, Church Girl by Beyonce, is the fact that we are a direct representation of God. So when we go out, God is not saying that we can't go out. God is not saying that we can't have fun. God is not saying that we can't have a good time and hang out with our friends. God wants us to do that. But he wants us to do so with integrity. So within this song, Beyonce saying, "Drop it like a thotty." Okay. We have to ask ourselves, is this what is truly what's going to represent God? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against dancing. I'm not against twerking, but I believe twerking is for your husband. I don't believe twerking is for the entire world to see. So it's just about using wisdom and discernment. And God spoke to me and made me realize that if you ever want to be promoted by God, you have to be able to be a great representative for God, both publicly and privately. So I was flying back home from Miami a few weeks ago, and the moment that I stepped into the airport, I kid you not, I had someone walk up to me. I literally did not even get through the door yet. And they're like, "Hey, I follow you on Instagram." And I was like, "What? You follow me on Instagram? That's crazy." And after we spoke, God began to speak to me, and I believe that he spoke to me and told me that as he plans to promote me and to expand my territory and expand my reach, then we have to realize that even if we are outside of our hometown, even if we are outside in public, there's always someone watching. There's always someone who may know you or recognize you or maybe even just perceive you a certain way. And because of that, we have to be able to represent Jesus in the best possible way. If you ever want to get promoted by God, if you ever want God to expand your reach or expand your territory, you have to be able to be a great representative for God. The Bible tells us that we are Christ's ambassadors, as though God was making his appeal through us. And we have to remember, as Christians, sometimes people may decide whether or not they want to come to Jesus based on how you act. If you sit here and you claim you're a Christian, but you do the opposite on social media or out in the world, people are going to be like, I don't want to deal with those Christians. They're fake, they're phony, and yeah, she's not living right, he's not living right. Why should I become a Christian? All of them, they have no integrity anyway. So we have to remember that we are constantly representing Christ. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 16, it says, "Let your light shine before men so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." So we have to constantly be that light on that hill that cannot be hidden. So people can be like, yo, she's dope. Like, she's doing amazing things. She claims she's a Christian. I want to know her God. I want to get to know her God. So everything that we do should be constantly pulling people and encouraging them to become Christ followers and to be more like Jesus. The second point that I want to make is the fact that just because the song has a nice beat and catchy lyrics doesn't mean that you have to feed into it. So as I mentioned before, as I was studying this song, I kid you not, that song got into my spirit and I couldn't shake it. I felt inclined to sing the lyrics and dance to it every so often. Every so often the lyrics would play in my head and I would want to dance to it, and I had to stop myself because, again, music is so powerful and it truly has the ability to influence your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. So one of the key lyrics within this verse is that Beyonce is encouraging Christian women to drop it like a thotty. For those of you who don't know what a thotty means, it means that hoe over there. So here Beyonce is targeting the church girls, encouraging them to drop it like a hoe. And I don't know about you, but since when has thotty become a positive connotation? Thotty has never been something that should be idolized over. And now we have a really highly influential singer encouraging women, specifically church women, Christian women, to imitate hoes. And honestly, what really baffles me is the fact that Beyonce doesn't even live this life publicly. Yes, she may dance and all that on stage, but when she's out privately with her family, roaming the streets of Paris, she's not dropping it like a thotty. When she's out at the Louvre or in a private island in France, she's not dropping it like a thotty in public. She's being a classy woman. So it's like, Beyonce, like, what are you really doing? Like, why are you encouraging women to act like this if you don't act like this in your personal life? And we have to wake up and be like, okay, well, Beyonce, and you just have to wake up and realize these certain things because it doesn't make sense. And when she's telling you to drop it like a thotty, you have to ask yourself, well, if she's telling me to drop it like a thotty, do I really want to be perceived as a thotty? You can drop it like a thotty, but don't get mad when you never get that good morning text in the morning. You can drop it like a thotty, but don't get mad when he's never asked you to meet his mother. You can drop it like a thotty, but don't get mad when he only wants you for your body. You can drop it like a thotty, but don't get mad when people start treating you like a thotty, y'all. It has to make sense. You have to be able to have that wisdom and discernment and say, you know what, this doesn't sound right. Just because people think it's cool and just because celebrities are posting it and just because it's trending on social media now doesn't mean that I need to feed into it. It's the blind leading the blind. So in Matthew chapter 10, verse 6, Jesus is specifically talking. He says, "Behold, I am sending you out as sheep amongst wolves. Therefore, you need to be as wise as serpents and as harmless as doves. And this is such a powerful verse because it's like, okay, Jesus is sending us out as sheep amongst wolves. Meaning like we're innocent, but there are people who are constantly looking to devour and destroy us. So he says, be harmless as doves, but also be wise as serpents. Like what he's really saying is be wise as the devil. Like don't act like the devil, but be wise as the devil. Understand the devil's schemes and tactics and tricks, because the devil is slick and cunning and he comes as an angel of light. And if you don't have that wisdom or discernment, it's hard to catch him. Just understand that although we're called to be innocent and harmless, we still have to be wise, just as wise as the devil, because if we aren't, we're going to fall victim to the devil's schemes. And the last point that I want to make is the fact that being a virtuous woman is sexy. So I know the world may try to cause you to believe that being a Christian woman or being a woman who's really involved in her faith or being a woman of God is boring. Trust me, I know, I've been there. I've gotten it so many times as I have dated. But I want you to remember that the Bible is clear that although they may call us churchy women or whatever, what they really mean is virtuous. And according to the Bible, in Proverbs 31, verse 10, the Bible specifically says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her value is far more precious than rubies. So don't let anyone make you feel as though being a virtuous woman is outdated, because ultimately what they really mean is that you're absolutely rare and they don't know how to handle you. So a little story time. I was out with a friend and he was introducing me to one of his friends and he was like, oh, this is Johanna. You'll really like her. She's really, really churchy. And I was like, I'm churchy? What does that mean? And I started to get a little bit offended because I'm like, like churchy? I don't get you. Like, just because I love God. And I started to take it a certain way, but I had to realize, you know what? If he calls me churchy, that's fine. You know, like what he really means or what he can't put into words is the fact that I'm a virtuous woman, and that means I'm a valuable woman and I'm a rare woman and I'm a woman that's very hard to find. So although the world may classify you and place you in this box as, oh, she's a church girl, or she's too churchy, or she follows the rules too much, or she's no fun, or she never wants to turn up, don't let that discourage you. The Bible is specifically clear and tells us, Jesus specifically says, if the world hates you, keep in mind they hated me first. The Bible specifically says, do not be conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So if you're actually blending in with the world, you're doing Christianity the wrong way. The Bible specifically calls us to be set apart. That's one of the ways you're actually able to identify Christians. If you claim to be a Christian and no one can tell, you're in the danger zone. I'm not going to lie to you. We are called to pick up our cross daily and follow Jesus. So just want to keep that in mind, that being a virtuous woman is sexy, and you should not shy away from that, because the Bible is clear and it says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So always keep that in mind. So in summary, church girl, Christian woman, virtuous woman, whatever you want to call yourself, be encouraged. All right? It is okay to be a virtuous woman and still go out and have fun, but do so in a way that's classy and in a way that truly honors and represents God. Being a virtuous woman is never going to go out of style. I promise you. You can have the same qualities at 18 all the way up to the day you die, and it's still going to look good on you. Dropping it like a thotty, it may pass when you're 18, but dropping it like a thotty at 85 doesn't really seem like a good look. So again, remember what God says about you. Remember that being a virtuous woman is sexy, it's classy, it's beautiful, and God will always honor you for it. All right? So thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. If you are a new viewer, hello, make sure to subscribe and be sure to check out any of these videos. And you can subscribe here. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Stay glamorous.